Coming. You needn't wear out the bell. Yes. Well, good afternoon, madam. I presume you want to speak with me about something. You rang my bell hard enough. My dear young woman, I'm not accustomed to opening my door merely to be stared at. Will you please?
Shh. I'm analyzing you.
Analyzing?
Yes. I think you'll do. I'm sure of it.
Thank you.
And now let me come inside where we can talk. Quickly, sir. There's great danger.
All right, I'll just...
Thank you, sir. You're the soul of chivalry. Your name is...
Somerset.
It'll
Paul
be a pleasure
Somerset.
to do business with you, Mr. Somerset. My name is Clara Fanshawe. May I move in at once?
My dear lady, I don't
There's
understand.
a sign in your window, apartment to let. I'm renting it from you.
But such haste. Don't you wish to see the room?
Unnecessary, completely unnecessary. We will engage the apartment and pay you £3.10 per month. You agree? Excellent.
But I don't exactly understand.
We are Americans. My father and I have just arrived from Baltimore, Pennsylvania. This is the way we do business in America. Poof, and it's done.
My dear Miss Fanshawe, this is not the way we do business in England. I know nothing about you, your social or credit standing, whether or not you'll be a suitable tenant or...
You refuse to let us have the room?
On such short notice, yes.
Mr. Somerville,
Somerset.
you have a father?
It is still the custom in England.
I, too, have a parent who is aged beyond his years, tired out by a dreadful illness. Even now, he sits in the carriage outside your door, racked with pain, yet without a place to rest his body this night.
I am dreadfully sorry.
The sign in your window proclaims that you have a vacant apartment. How can you refuse it to us? We'll pay you for it, pay you in advance.
Well, under the circumstances, I suppose...
Thank you, Mr. Somerset.
Somerset.
Father, you may come in now. We've rented the apartment.
That's very good, Clara.
Be careful stepping down from the carriage, Father.
Yes.
You mustn't exert yourself.
You're so kind,
Now,
dear.
take my arm, Father. Slowly now. Oh, Mr. Somerset, would you mind taking care of our luggage?
Your luggage? All these crates and boxes?
All the belongings from our mansion in Baltimore. Will you see that they're brought up to our apartment?
I suppose so.
And, young man,
Yes, sir?
I caution you, be exceeding careful in the way you handle my boxes. If you should drop one of them, it could cost you your life.
What the deuce is going on up there? Hello! It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Will you kindly cut out the noise and clatter? It's better. Now perhaps a fella can get some sleep. Oh, what in the name of... Mr. Fanshawe! Miss Fanshawe! I require that you stop that noise at once. Immediately, do you hear, or I shall be forced to summon authorities. Oh, what kind of lodgers do I have up there? Yes, who is it?
It's Clara. I must speak with you at once.
Oh, very well.
Mr. Somerville, I must ask you to stop shouting in this uncouth manner. You are disturbing my father.
I'm disturbing your father. What about me? I'm trying to sleep with the Battle of Waterloo going on above my head. Now, what's happening up
It
there?
happens that my father is at work.
At work? I thought he was too sick to lift a hand.
Well, I told you that so that you would let us have the apartment. As a matter of fact, my father is quite well. And now there's no need for anger, Mr. Somerville.
Somerset.
Somerset.
You will be evicted first thing in the morning.
Why?
For disturbing the peace, for obtaining my rooms under false pretenses.
Mr. Somerset, does it occur to you that I might have a good reason for my actions?
Well...
It happens that my father is one of the world's foremost men of science. You've heard the name of Dr. Heinrich von Luboff.
No, can't say that I have.
It is obvious that you are not very conversant with the latest advances in the world about you. You are honored, my dear sir, by having the eminent Dr. von Luboff as a guest in your house.
Plus the honor of his daughter.
I am his niece, Henrietta von Luboff.
What happened to Clara Fanshawe from Baltimore, Pennsylvania?
Oh, a convenient fiction.
Too convenient, my dear young lady. And I suspect that everything you and that man upstairs have told me are fictions. Or less politely, lies. I don't think he's a famous doctor or anything of the sort. I don't know what deceitful purpose you have in renting rooms from me, but I know this. Out you go at the crack of dawn. Baggage, boxes, and all. Out.
Please, Mr. Somerset.
Out.
Please. I don't blame you. I have lied to you. Taken advantage of your sympathy and good nature.
Well...
I am in a fearful position. I cannot tell you how fearful, but I am not responsible for my actions.
Well, why not?
This man.
He has some power over you.
Yes. Oh, I cannot tell you. I cannot tell you anything more. Are you all right, Zero?
Yes, only a few small cuts. What is this man doing here?
Well, he came up with me to see what happened.
It is none of your business, sir. You are never to interrupt me in my rooms. Never.
These are not your rooms. They're my rooms.
As a lodger, I have no privacy.
I demand to know what kind of business is going on here with explosions and noises at all hours of the night.
Oh, please, Mr. Somerset, do not anger him.
I'm not afraid of him. Well, Mr. Zero, that seems to be your name.
It is?
You led me to think you were a decrepit old man. Now I find you in the best of health. What does this mean?
Mr. Somerset, I must adopt many disguises. That is one of the necessities of my profession.
And what is your profession, if I may ask?
I am a dynamiter.
Dynamite?
Yes, do I surprise you? That is natural. Pardon me a moment while I bandage this burn on my hand.
Dynamite?
Yes. Most glorious profession, the most exalted calling a man could ever follow. Do you recall a month or so ago when the Gower Street police station was exploded by a mysterious dynamite charge?
Yes, it was in all the papers.
Yes.
A disastrous affair.
Oh, you flatter me.
It was you who dynamited the building?
Well, it was not an example of my best work, far short of a masterpiece like my blasting of the City Hall in Edinburgh. That was real artistry and timing, a thing of beauty. The clockwork did not fail me. The explosion went off precisely on time.
Just why do you go about blowing up buildings?
Why? As a service to humanity.
You're out of your mind.
I beg your pardon. On the contrary, I am one of the few completely sane and sensible men on this planet. Would you like to know more about my profession?
Don't tell him, Zero. He'll go to the police.
I don't think so, Clara. Mr. Somerset seems to be a complete gentleman. I believe he can be trusted. Now, sir, you see in me the self-appointed deliverer of the human race.
You're too modest.
Oh, modesty is an affectation. I am a colossal egotist. It has been given to me to understand the one great truth of the universe, that humanity can be saved only by its own destruction. Therefore, I destroy, by dynamite, the institutions of our so-called civilization.
This is the most incredible madness I've ever...
Now, just a moment. Hear me out. Do you remember the great flood when all the evil of the world was flushed away in 40 days and 40 nights of rain? Well, only Noah and the creatures in his ark survived. Well, today, our world is so cloyed with evil that it must be destroyed again. And I, Zero, am the flood which will purge the earth. Not with pale water, but with dynamite. And to you, my friend, my hospitable host, I offer the opportunity to be saved from destruction. I give you, in a way, a passage aboard my ark.
You propose to destroy all the human population?
Well, I don't think I shall need to go that far. I feel that the evil of our age is centered in only one thing: government.
Government?
Yes. Destroy the governments of the world, and we destroy evil. If we have no laws, obviously we shall have no lawbreakers. Abolish congresses and parliaments, and we shall have no grafting politicians to plague us, no taxes to devour our earning, no policemen or bureaucrats to tell us, do this or don't do that. And, moreover, if we blow up all the governments, there can be no wars between governments, and men shall live together in perfect peace and harmony.
It's a pretty noisy way to get harmony. Tell me, how do you decide who is to be blown up and who is to remain in one piece? so to speak?
Well, ultimately, I shall dynamite the Houses of Parliament, the French Chamber of Deputies, and possibly the American Congress.
Oh, by all means, the American Congress.
But that will be near the conclusion of my program. Now I am still perfecting my equipment. It must be foolproof, of course. Each of those boxes, which you so kindly carried up the stairs, contains enough dynamite to blast a city block into rubble. I am at present building smaller units which can be concealed in a simple traveling bag or valise, but which have a delicate clockwork mechanism which sets off the explosion at a precise moment known only to me. Now, with these small dynamite packages, I am disposing of the lower echelons of government, police stations, petty government officials, and gradually I shall work up to magistrates, members of Parliament, and the executives of the government itself.
Reducing all, Mr. Zero, to the value of your own name.
Precisely.
Very pretty plans, sir. But I must disrupt them, or I shall turn you over immediately to the police for treason, assault, murder, any number of crimes.
No, you will not turn me over to the police. For whatever crime you accuse in me, that crime is your guilt, too.
My?
I am a guest in your house. My explosive machines are all over your premises. If the police are called, I shall identify you as my most trusted accomplice. No, Mr. Somerset, you will not call the authorities, for you're involved in this thing as deeply as I am.
Somerset paced back and forth in his lodgings, angry, perplexed, confused. As the owner of a London mansion, he had unwittingly acquired as his guest a dynamiter, a man who proposed the overthrow of all the governments of the world, an anarchist, completely insane, yet convincingly plausible. And poor Somerset had allowed himself to become the dynamiter's accomplice. Worse than that, he found himself falling in love with Clara, the lovely assistant to Mr. Zero, his partner in crime.
Please don't worry so.
Oh, what am I going to do? This is an impossible situation. You're to blame.
I know. I lied to you. I took advantage of your generous nature, Mr. Somerville.
Somerset. Once and for all, it's Somerset. Now say it.
Somerset.
Now, try to remember that, please. My dear young lady, your memory for proper names is exceeded only by your passionate devotion to the truth. Why did you lie me into this incredible situation? Aged father, Dr. von Lubov. Did you ever speak an honest fact in your life?
Yes, I'm speaking one now. I'm sorry.
Yes, I'll bet you are.
I never wanted to involve you, really, but you see, I have no family, no parents, no friends. Zero has been my guardian since I was a little girl.
Is this the truth?
I swear it. He taught me to tell lies for him, to help him with his crazy ideas. It was fun at first, like play acting or being on the stage. But now it's come to be such a habit that I can't tell when I'm lying and when I'm telling the truth.
I assure you, my child, there is a difference.
Zero isn't really bad.
Oh, no. He just dynamites people. And he's upstairs in my house right now with enough high explosives to blow us to the moon and back. Now tell me.
Yes?
If I denounce him to the police, whose side would you take? If Zero swore I was his accomplice in crime, would you defend me?
Yes.
Oh, then there might be a chance. If we both go to the authorities and tell how we've become involved with this maniac, I think they might believe us.
If I betray Zero, it will break his heart.
The man's a murderer. He wants to blast the human race to kingdom come, and you're worried about breaking his heart.
I know, but what will become of me without Zero?
Well, you're not unattractive, my dear Clara. I'm sure there must be some young man in London or the surrounding suburbs, an eligible bachelor who would take you as his wife.
Oh. Do you really think so?
Yes, with a little persuasion. Very little, in fact.
Delightful.
What?
Surely you could have no objection to my standing in the shadow of your doorway, listening.
Oh, what did you hear?
Enough. I disapprove of your plan, Mr. Somerset. I consider you very disloyal to the cause. As a matter of fact, I'm very much hurt by your whole attitude.
He is a maniac.
No, indeed. All great men have been considered mad by their contemporaries. Alexander, Genghis Khan, Nero, Napoleon. All the prophets of destruction were unappreciated while they lived, but see how history hurls their names to us, still flaming across the centuries. I will not be defeated, Mr. Somerset, by your treachery. I will not suffer you nor anyone to stop me in the execution of my plan.
Yes? Who is it?
It's Clara. Are you asleep?
No. Come in.
You're all right?
Yes, I just went out for some air. I couldn't sleep.
You didn't go to the police.
Oh, I want you to go with me in the morning.
Oh, I've been worried. Zero is acting so strangely. You're certain you're all right?
Of course.
Listen.
What? What? I don't hear anything.
In your bedroom. It's in here.
It's my alarm clock.
No, the clock isn't even running. Under the bed.
What is it? That's nothing of mine. Ordinary Gladstone bag.
Don't try to open it. Zero, put it there.
Why, it's a time bomb.
That bag is full of dynamite. With a delicate clock mechanism to set it off, it could explode at any moment.
I'll douse it in a tub of water.
That won't do. He makes these things completely watertight. It would go off all the same. There's only one thing to do. Run away from it. Leave it here, Paul, and run.
We can't do that. The street is lined with apartment houses. An explosion here could set off the dynamite upstairs and kill hundreds of people in their sleep.
There's no time to talk. What should we do?
We must get it out of this building.
Can you lift it?
Yes, it's quite light. You must stay here, Clara.
No.
No, there's no reason for you to risk your life.
But I caused all this, Paul. Besides, I know more about how Zero works.
All right. First, we've got to get this out of the building and then dispose of it somehow.
Did we find a policeman? A Bobby?
No, it's impossible. Can you imagine going up to an officer of the law and saying, "Good evening, sir. I happen to have here an infernal machine which will explode at any moment. Would you mind taking care of it for me?"
Can't just stand here on the pavement.
When is it likely to go out?
Perhaps for the next tick of the clockwork, perhaps an hour from now.
I have an idea. We'll get a cab.
Yes?
Then I'll show you what we'll do. Driver, we want to visit a particularly open part of the city.
Open, sir?
Yes, the botanical gardens at Kensington. Will you drive us there, please?
The Botanical Garden.
What will you
Yes,
do
sir?
there?
Oh, I'm not sure. At least we'll be away from crowds of people. The thing will do as little harm as possible.
It's incredible. To drive along the streets of London with death in a brown leather bag at our feet.
Almost talking with us, so to speak.
I know how we can be free of it. Cabby, stop the carriage.
Clara, what...
You don't want to go to Kensington, sir?
No, we'll get out here.
Yes, what's the reckoning?
Hey, 2 and 6.
Oh, here's 5 bob.
Oh, thank you, Governor.
What about the bag?
Leave it.
Good night, Cabby.
Yes, good night.
Good night, and thank you kindly. And Godspeed to both of you.
Quickly, hurry.
Oh, we're free from it. We're free from that accursed bomb.
Hello there!
What?
Hey, you forgot something! You forgot your satchel, Governor. Now, that would be a mean trick for me to drive off with your leather traveling bag after you leaving me such a handsome tip and all. Here it is, Governor. No charge.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Now what do we do?
It seems to follow us. It's determined to destroy us.
Look, it's late. The streets are fairly empty now. We'll just leave it somewhere by a curbstone at the corner of the building in the shadow of a monument.
Over here, by the archway.
All right, I'll leave the bag. We walk away nonchalantly, and we're rid of the thing.
No.
Oh, what's wrong?
There's a policeman directly across the way. He's watching us.
We'll have to go on with this death machine in my hand. It's almost almost dawn. When do you suppose the thing's set to go off?
Only Zero knows.
But no one will take
The
it.
man at the baggage station insisted on knowing the contents.
There's one part left. The river.
Water won't quench it.
At least no lives will be lost.
But we're so far from the riverbank, we'll never make it.
We've got to try.
Wait.
What?
Listen.
The ticking. It stopped. It's about to go off.
No. No, I know how Zero makes these things. The clockwork keeps going right up to the instant of the blast.
Well, then it's broken. Something went wrong with the thing.
Oh, we've been saved.
No, you're not still alive, both of you.
Very much alive, thank you, Mr. Zero.
But the case, it should have exploded just before midnight. I've been searching all through the papers to read about it. And it didn't go off.
It was a wicked thing to do, Zero, to try to kill Paul and me.
I didn't want to kill you, Clara. I knew once he was done with it, you would again be loyal. But the clockwork failed me again. Oh, treacherous clockwork. The chemicals I've perfected, the explosive charges faultless, but the timing mechanism, it's the timing that always goes astray. Here, give me that suitcase.
No, be careful.
You tell me to be careful with my own mechanism. I must take it to my work table and find out what's wrong. Find out what's failed.
Oh, Paul, I'm weak.
So, my darling, you've no idea how strange it is not to feel the weight of that bag in my hand. Cut of it strapped across my fingers.
Could we get some food?
Yes, at once. Then we must go to the authorities and
Poor Zero.
those who live by the sword.
He was so disappointed when the clockwork failed. He must have torn the bag apart. But he wasn't a really bad person.
No, merely careless with other people's lives.
He had everything. Skill, knowledge, great powers of speech and persuasion.
Oh, yes, everything. Except sense. A vital ingredient, my darling, in a useful human being. But tell me, Clara, what'll become of you now?
I really don't know.
You recall I made some mention of an arrangement with an eligible bachelor?
Yes.
Could you tell me the bachelor's name?
Why, Summerdale?
No.
Somerville?
No, sweet.
Not Somersault.
Definitely not Somersault.
I know. Somerset.
Ah. Doesn't that girl have the most remarkable memory?
You've just heard Robert Louis Stevenson's The Dynamiter. Jeff Chandler and Janet Waldo played the leading roles